So you want to learn how to become a speaker at events. Oh, I love it, and I love speaking at events too. My name is Jason Hewlett. I'm a Hall of Fame keynote speaker. And what I'm about to teach you and give you are some of the quickest hints, and the opportunities are everywhere. You may not just realize it. So I'm glad you found this video. In fact, number 3 is my secret weapon to how to get gigs. I hope you enjoy. So the first one I want you to realize is that you need to be so good they can't ignore you, and that is a line from Steve Martin. If you haven't heard of Steve Martin, he started his career as a magician at Knott's Berry Farm, and then he became a comedian who was headlining all over the world in huge venues in the 70s and 80s. He then went on to Saturday Night Live, became an actor, a director, a writer. He even put his own amazing Hollywood movies together. But eventually he then became a playwright. He's now an award-winning banjo player. The guy is a Renaissance man, and he truly said, be so good they can't ignore you. And he lived that. Now, I want you to just think about that for yourself. Think about the people that you've seen on stage and how you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I want to get on that stage. I want to get some speaking events. I want you to first, however, work on being so good they can't ignore you. I'm going to keep saying it. Practice, work hard, subscribe to this channel. I have a ton of videos that I've already talked about how to practice, how to get better, how to create your speech, how to create your show, whatever it might be. Let me just tell you about someone who's so good that they couldn't ignore him anymore. His name is Jeff Civillico, and you probably haven't even heard about him, but I'm about to tell you about somebody who's quite extraordinary. You see, when he was a kid, he was visiting his brother at Harvard who was at school, and this young man was pulled out of the crowd by a guy named Peter Panic. Peter Panic was a street performer who was juggling, and he taught this young Jeff Civillico how to juggle. Little did Peter Panic know that someday Jeff Civillico would be headlining in Las Vegas in his own show for a decade. It's an incredible story, but here's the thing. Jeff Civillico worked so many hours. He did cruise ships, county fairs. He did street performances. He was handing out flyers at college. He went to Georgetown University, and he just made such a difference wherever he went. But he created opportunities for himself. In fact, he did a project when he was a kid because somebody said, hey, we need somebody to come perform for this group of young children in a hospital. Jeff said, I'm in. He came and he did his juggling. Then he taught his friends how to juggle so they could do more shows for kids in hospitals. What a cool thing. Be so good they can't ignore you. Jeff then went to, like I said, Disney, cruise lines, Disney World, performed everywhere, eventually making his way to Las Vegas. Now that may not be the path you want to take, but I want you to understand that you can create whatever you're willing to if you're so good they can't ignore you. Eventually audiences were coming to Jeff Civillico's shows. They heard he was so good, and he is. That's the power of following Steve Martin's mantra. And so I hope that that's helpful to you. The story of Jeff Civillico is amazing. You might want to go check him out, jeffcivillico.com. So my next point is to do something people want to hear you talk about. For example, Jeff Civillico now, because he created his career as a Las Vegas headliner, hey, now people want to give him speaking events. They want to book him all the time. I have a friend, his name is Nick. Nick started out by doing video work. He then bought a drone. He started doing some weddings for friends, and the next thing he knows, he's got a drone flying around famous music groups who needed somebody who knew how to do video work like that. Once his videos started to go viral for these groups, guess who they wanted to come speak? My friend Nick. Nick has now spoken all over the place. He's an amazing speaker. He's even put master classes together on video work. Go do something that they want to hear you talk about. Do something extraordinary, but do something that you're good at. Then there's my friend, her name is Lita. In fact, Lita became the top salesperson at her company. Now, what happens when you become the top salesperson? They want you to speak. They want to find out your process and how you did that. And so Lita became the top speaker at an organization that she was just a salesperson for this company. And then all of a sudden they were like, we want you to go and speak over here. And they started sending her out to speak at different organizations all over the world. It launched her speaking career. Why? Because she was so good at sales of a product that she was just naturally selling well. That's another way that you can do it. Just be so good at what you're already doing, they'll want to learn how you're doing it so well. So if you're sitting to yourself thinking, okay, I want to get speaking events, awesome. Be the best you possibly can be at your job. Be the best you can possibly be in something unique, and then they're going to want you to speak. I have another friend who put together a lemonade stand. Now that may sound like, how does that relate to getting speeches at an event or being a speaker for events? Well, lemonade stand girl raised so much money. She did so much good. She was actually raising money in part for a charity organization and so she could travel and do other service work. She made so much of a difference that then she started to put together necklaces, little bracelets. Then it became a direct sales company. Now she's a multi-millionaire. She's younger than me by a couple decades. And she just got so good at selling lemonade, making a difference, making jewelry. Next thing she knows, she's traveling the world. She created something literally out of nothing. And so, if you want to do something great, if you want to get a speaking gig, hey, do something that they want to listen to you, to tell your story and how you made it happen. And then there's my friend James. Maybe you've heard of him. But let me just tell you about James. He said to his family, I'm going to start running some marathons. And so they started doing some. And then he was like, I wonder if I could do a triathlon. So he started swimming and biking and then ran the marathon. He's like, I wonder if I could do an Ironman. Now, remember, he had a normal job. But he was like, on the side, I'm going to start doing these things. He did an Ironman, which is really hard. He flew to Hawaii and he did this huge event where he's swimming, biking, marathoning. Really hard event. Now here's the thing. When he got done with that, he decided, I'm going to do a couple of those this year. And he did a bunch of them. And then he said to himself, hey, you know what? Why would I only do one when I could do like 50 of them over 50 days in 50 states, 50 days in a row? People are like, that's impossible. He's like, watch me. My friend James Lawrence became known as the Iron Cowboy. He decided to just prove everyone wrong, and he made it happen. His family got an RV and they drove all around the United States following him while he's swimming, biking, doing 50 of these in 50 days in 50 states. Insane. One of the greatest sports accomplishments ever. Why am I telling you about him? He had a normal job. He created this thing that everyone wanted to hear his story. Now he's a full-time speaker. You can create for yourself if you want. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. Go, whether it's deep dive into your hobby, deep dive into what you're great at. Maybe you're a salesperson. Maybe you're a creator. Maybe you're a lemonade stand creator. Whatever it is, you can make it happen. And when you do, they'll want to hire you to tell your story. So we're talking about how to become a speaker at events. Before I share with you the secret weapon, which is number 3 that has helped me in my career so much, I would love if you'd subscribe to this channel, and I'd love for you to go check out some of the other things that I teach, other videos that will really help you with your career and getting your opportunities to speak at more events. For example, ways to put together your outline as a speaker, or how to create your notes as a speaker, how to create an effective speech. Those are the types of videos on this channel, so I hope that you'll subscribe. Now let's dive into number 3, the secret weapon of my career for becoming a speaker at events. Number 3, how to become a speaker at events. This is my secret weapon: volunteer at an organization. Volunteer at any event you possibly can. Now you might be thinking, I don't like to hear him say that. Well, here's the thing. If you're willing to volunteer, that you're willing to be a speaker, people will want you to speak. You'll have opportunities you never could have had otherwise. And so when you're willing to speak and be a volunteer somewhere, it's a powerful thing. If you go in first to serve, to give, to help, to lift the community with your signature moves that only you have, the next thing you know, you're going to have opportunities to speak and share your story. They're going to love you for the service that you bring. Now, this is the secret weapon to my career. I coach people, or I mentor about how to create a career and become a better speaker. I tell everybody this: you need to volunteer to speak wherever you are, because then people will realize you are the speaker and they want to hear you. Now, it may not sound as simple as that, but it can be. For example, when's the last time you went to church and you volunteered to be the speaker? I know, nobody does. But if you're willing to walk up and say, hey, I'd love to speak next Sunday, the person in charge will be like, really? That never, ever happens. Now, how about this one? Let's say you go to church again. You walk into a classroom and you say, I would like to teach this class next Sunday of young people. No one does that. If you're willing to, you're going to have speaking opportunities. Now, it may be teaching, but it's speaking. Now, think about this. You go to a community center. They have bridge night for a bunch of elderly people. You walk up to the person running the bridge night and you say, hey, I would love to speak for these people playing bridge. They'll say, we've never had a speaker before. You say, I'd like to be the first one. I'm just telling you, this works incredibly well. You can volunteer to speak at places no one's ever even thought that they would want a speaker. For example, I call my kid's school. My kid's school doesn't even know what I do for a living, okay? So I walk into the school after I call them up and I'm like, can I come talk to the principal? They're like, well, what's it about? Well, I want to volunteer. Well, okay, come in. I go into the school. I walk in. I say, I want to talk to the principal. They won't let me talk to the principal. I have to talk to the secretary. What do you want? I say, hey, my kids go to school here. I would love to come and talk to one of their classes about public speaking. Oh, what do you do? I'm a public speaker. Oh, really? Okay, sure, we'd love to have you. If I'd have walked in and I was you, let's say you're in sales. If I walked in and I said, hey, I'd love to talk to the class about how they can be good salespeople or how they can connect better with each other. Do you think that they would turn you away? They would be crazy. And so I went to the assistant principal, then to the principal. And eventually we got to the point where I was able to go in and teach entrepreneurship to one class, public speaking to another class, did an assembly for the school. I also did a teacher training for the faculty. They didn't know they wanted that. They didn't have money for it. They weren't about to pay me. I just volunteered. That is my secret weapon. And whether it's church, community, education, Rotary, government, you name it, you can go and create opportunities for yourself you never thought possible. I've shared this in other videos, but I have to share it again. You see, my kids play sports in high school. They had nobody doing the games over the big speakers in the stadium. And I remember sitting there thinking, there's a whole sound system here and nobody's announcing the game. I then asked the booster club lady, hey, who does the announcing? She says, nobody. I said, why? She said, nobody wants to. I said, I want to. She said, why? I said, because I'd like it to be a fun game. I created a speaking opportunity for myself. Now, am I just standing up there in the stadium speaking some speech? No, I'm announcing the players. I'm putting on music. I'm telling stupid jokes. They love it. I've created opportunities for myself by volunteering since day one. And anytime I get paid for a speech, I have a promise that I made to myself years ago that I would always donate another. And so for every paid speech, I donate another. I would encourage you, no matter how far you get in your career, that you start by donating and it will lead to the paid gig, I promise you. As long as you're so good, they can't ignore you. Number 4, the quickest way to become a speaker at an event is to just sponsor the event. Now that may sound too good to be true. Well, if you have a company that you can convince to sponsor the event, hey, that's a great thing. They'll give you time to speak. If you own the company, that's even better. Recently, we had dinner paid for by somebody. I didn't know who. I was just eating it at the convention, enjoying it. And then they said, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Raconto. Raconto guy, Christian, stands up and starts speaking. Christian was awesome. We gave him a standing ovation for the meal. He gave about a 3-minute presentation about what Raconto does, which they capture videos and stories for people on video. It's a very cool thing online. But what's interesting about that to me, he created that opportunity for himself. He got to speak in front of speakers because I was at a speaker convention. We were eating, and now we're listening to a guy who sponsored the event, created a speaking opportunity for himself, and now he's in this video. Oh, smart guy. The final point that I want you to consider for yourself to get to be a speaker at events is let everyone know everywhere you go that you want to speak at their event. Yep, it's just that simple. Text your friend that you want to come speak at their Monday morning meeting. Text your cousin who's in a beauty pageant. Text your friend who's doing the Cub Scouts event. Text your coach of your son's basketball team and say, I'd love to come and motivate the kids before they take the field. And if he doesn't believe that you can do that, then you say, I'd like to come and speak to the staff first to show you how cool this is. If you're willing to tell everybody that you're willing to speak at their event, most likely they will open that door for you. but it's up to you to open the door for yourself. Create it first, and then it will happen. I appreciate so much that you've joined me here. I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel and check out all the cool videos that will help you become the great speaker you're going to be at all the events you're going to get, because I just told you all my secrets. You're welcome.